All right, well, like I mentioned before, bear with me. I do these live. I just kind of unscripted, going through my round. I'm going to try to make the cut. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but my goal is to do this with a regular basis on the PGA Tour. It's too bad the fun events are kind of coming to an end, but at least we have the FedEx Cup and some other things coming on. And then we have some other live events that I'll do as well because they play some pretty unique courses. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do this last week because of Valderrama was not even on my simulator, which is the Garmin R50. It's the first time I've actually run into that where the course wasn't on there. So I'm going to the Open. Last time the Open was played at Royal Portrush, it was in 2019, and Shane Lowry won at 15 under. It's an incredible score after I've played this golf course. This time I did things a little different. I said, okay, I'm going to play a practice round first. If I play a practice round first, at least I'll have a chance of making the cut. We'll see. The cut line is +1. The other thing I'm going to do, which I haven't done before, is I'll obviously play the tournament, the Garmin Tour tournament, but I also want to, if I make the event or I make the cut, I'm going to try to play all 4 rounds and see how I stack up, and then ultimately have a really good leaderboard and see where I would have placed. Okay, so here we are. This is number 2 that I'm hitting into, and it's fun. I watched the Bryan brothers and Grant just tried to make the cut in round 1, and Wesley played incredible, which was awesome to see. But Grant had a little rough time, and this hole I was watching, it's like amazing to watch the differences between the simulator and then watching what's going on TV and actually at the real golf course. One, I was actually blown away that the rough didn't seem that penal to me. Like when I hit into the native where I live, forget about it. It's over. It's gone. There, you got a chance. You can at least advance it, which is pretty sweet. And for the PGA Tour guys, they're going to at least have a chance to have somebody spot it for them and find it. Whereas most of the time, I won't even find it where I'm at. The other thing here is the wind. I'm catching it on a pretty decent day where it's not too bad. Now, the tournament for Garmin Tour won't be, it will not be a windy day. It'll be 0 wind. But playing it like this from the back tees and the conditions, the Garmin will mirror the exact conditions that we're at. And it's not super windy. There's a few holes here where it gets 20 miles an hour plus, which is really, really penal when you're playing. Again, we're playing a golf course that's super long. I don't understand how they're making these golf courses so long and then they can go and shoot 15 under par. They either shoot it, it comes down to a couple things. They just make a lot of putts, which you'll see on here. There's not a lot of opportunities to make a lot of putts. Like here we go. Yeah, I put it close. It gives me a gimme. It's within 6 feet. If I'm outside that 6 feet window or 6 foot window, then I have no chance. And then on here, I do have the opportunity to putt, and it's actually a great putting simulator. However, I didn't know how well it would flow. I might do one on video where it does it this way, but this goes pretty quick when I play it like this. I mean, we're looking at 15-minute videos, and if you're anything like me, I kind of want to see what happens. I'm a bottom line first guy. I can live without the drama, but 15 minutes of drama, I can deal with that and see if what happens at the end. And I'm kind of doing that with you. I played the round. I can't even remember actually what I shot. And I'm just going back and recording, as I went through and some of the thoughts that were going through my mind and what was going on. Okay, number 6. That was the other thing on these par 3s, watching it on TV. Man, the greens are huge. So if you're not real precise and it's windy, so like in 9 miles an hour, it'll move my golf ball quite a bit. I think I took an extra golf club here. Yeah, I hit 7 iron there, and it was downhill. That was the reason why I hit that, because normally that would be my not into the wind club at that altitude, which is like 234 feet above sea level. It's not very far. And this golf course, you can tell it's designed probably about 100 years ago, is what I recall. So it's been a long time, but the greens are huge, but they're like small targets because everything rolls off. It's crazy. And you'll see it on here too. And the wind is an ultimate defense. But luckily, I don't deal with all the weird rolls that you would get, even though the Garmin does a pretty good job of, mimicking the altitude and the things that are happening, or the movement and the rolling hills that exist, even on the greens. But it's still it plays like the same softness most of the time. It never plays like as firm as like a link style golf course would, or the conditions that the tour pros are going to be playing with over the weekend. It's just a tournament setup to me is crazy, because even when they have a qualifier at my golf course for a state tournament, professional tournament, they firm it up so much, and it's a totally different golf course. I personally enjoy it because it's so hard. And it makes it fun when it's really, really, really hard. And actually, it gives me a chance because generally ball striking keeps me in the game. And then I lose. If you were to look at any of my data in strokes lost, it's mostly in the putting and chipping. And you'll see that on here as well. Part of it is I practice most of my time hitting golf balls because I have a simulator. But two, it's just with a family, profession, it's hard to just go and spend 2 or 3 hours just putting and chipping. Like when I have those moments of that much time, I want to go play golf. I want to go play the game. And then I am still upset when I shoot bad scores. I've got to find a balance there where I do put in the time. And if I wasn't videoing, or maybe I make more videos where I'm working on my short game, this would help tremendously. Maybe I can do that. I'm sitting here thinking out loud. That makes a lot of sense to go do. One thing I noticed here, though, the ball. I'm hammering the golf ball right now with my driver. I mean, just bombing it, and almost everything's 170 miles an hour plus in ball speed. For me, that is really high on an average. I tend to be more in the 165 range. And I'm, for some reason, just been hitting it hard lately. I've made a little bit of a tweak in my swing. And really what I did is I got Scotty Scheffler's grip trainer, and I just spend, 10 minutes before I hit balls every day. And I just I put my hands in the right place. It confirms to me. I feel like I've gone for years. I had a wrist injury from a really bad mountain bike accident a couple of years ago, where it was really, really bad. And I split a ligament in here. And when I split that ligament, I did everything I could to go back to the golf course, including like steroid injections right into it to make it not be so painful. In fact, that's what my orthopedic surgeon told me to do. He didn't want to operate. And I would make up ways to hit the golf ball. And I created so many bad habits. Had I just rested, I think I would have had a much better chance of surviving and keeping my game intact. Instead, I sacrificed. Oh, that was really weird. Every once in a while on here, when I hit a golf ball, if there's a little, just every once in a while, there'll be some random shot with a driver on the simulator that isn't right. Because I did not hit the ball like that. I swear I did not hit the ball like that. It just happened to be one of those weird things that lined up. Maybe it's dust or whatever. Happens maybe once a week where I have something like that that's just totally off the wall. I forget what I was saying. Oh, but I did my wrist. And I was scared of impact for a very, very long time. And I invented ways to hit the golf ball, but doing that, I invented grips. And I could not find a common denominator, a home base that I wanted to go to. When I got this trainer, I think it was $13 on Amazon. And that's what Scotty Scheffler uses. What a difference it's made. It put me into a spot where, one, I had confidence that I was in the right place. That's big. Because if the best player in the world grips it like this, then that's awesome. I know that I can count on this to be a good grip. Plus, when I watch YouTube videos of PGA professionals, like they have something they're taught, you know, and then there's obviously like a Ben Hogan. That book is so popular. And don't get me wrong, Scotty Scheffler's grip is very, very aligned with what Ben Hogan's is. But it's one thing to see it, and then it's one thing to feel it. And that kinesthetic feeling for me makes a huge difference in just going, that's the grip. I can swing, 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 and it starts to become real. And I understand why he goes back to those basics all the time. I had the missionaries over for dinner just tonight, and they were talking to me about their baseball coach and what made and separated professional baseball players from the average Joes. And it's just because they focus on, just short game, just not sharp. And these things cost me when it comes to making the cut. Bogey again. Anyway, so the missionary was talking about the basics and why we don't focus enough on the basics. And maybe we're going to do these spectacular shots, or we work on, these once in a while shots. When in all reality, what are the shots on the golf course that you're faced with the most? Here, like playing the simulator, I can't tell you how important this is. I get to play this shot all day long. I can hit it as many times as I want. I can hit it and re-hit it and go again. I'm going to have a driver in my hand all the time that mimics that. Oh, awesome. I picked up a birdie. Am I going to have a shot out of the rough from 158? Yes, I'm going to have that all the time. Can I hit it 158 every single time? Do I know my carry yardage with, like the basics? What are my carry yardages with my 60-degree wedge? What are my carry yardages with I play 60, 56, 50, 46, and then it goes to my 9-iron. And if I know all my carry yardages throughout my golf bag, it's just the basics. I know on average that my 7-iron carries 194 where I live at altitude. So it's pretty far sounding for somebody that lives at sea level. But at altitude, at 194, I know that's how far it's going to go. It makes it easy. Oh, geez. Get into the rough. Okay. Now I at least have a chance to chip and, get it up and down and make a par. It's that outside the circle on these large greens, you have no chance. I can't tell you the basics of that. So important. Number two, like I just hit it to, how many times are you going to have that chip just off the green? Over and over and over again. There is no reason, like knowing that was 16 yards, 17 yards, I can pace off 17 yards really quick from the pin at the local golf course and hit 100 of those chips over and over and over again. I can hit them low, I can hit them high, and I'm going to have that shot constantly. The fact that we aren't good. Now, here's an example of one that I will never have very often. You probably saw this. It's sloping way, way down. It's 230. Sit down. It's 240-yard par 3 with a skinny green. I'm sorry, I'm not a tour pro. That's just not going to happen very often. And I guarantee you we're going to see a ton of bogeys there this week. And I just had one. Having said that, you never have that shot. How much time am I really going to spend doing that? Not very much. Now, having said that, hitting 240 or 250 off the tee all the time, I'm going to practice that all day long. I should know my hybrid here where I live carries 247 every single time. 247, 247, 247. I know that. So then I can game plan so easily knowing that. Most people that I play with, especially, I'm a 1 right now, still working towards getting to a scratch. But the difference between a 1 and a 5 is huge. Can you imagine how big of a gap it is between a 1 and a tour pro in the level of details? They know how much they de-loft their club, what yardage they get. If they decide to hit a little bit of a hook or a fade, they know how far it goes. If they choke down 3 inches, they know how much it takes off. These things and these details, they know if the lie is into the grain or down grain, how much further it's going to fly. They know if it's 5 degrees less or it's 10 degrees warmer, what's going to happen to the golf ball. These, you don't need to mess with these at this point, right? Nor do I. I hope I can get to that point where I have the time to do that. But I just need to know that. 147, I know, I just hit pitching wedge. I know it's going to go that far. All right. So thank you for joining me. It looks like I am at even, which is fantastic. That means I have a chance tomorrow. I'm going to go play again tomorrow, see if I can make the cut. The cut line's +1. I would like to get nicely into the cut line. That way I can play for the weekend, and maybe we're talking about how do I compete or how do I measure up. One of the things that I am trying to do is record quickly. That's why it's so rough. It's not pretty. But that way I can mimic the conditions at the exact time that they're playing. I know a week isn't as close, but if I get to the weekend rounds, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to the weekend rounds, and I'm going to try to mimic the same conditions that exist for them. So I at least have that going for me, whether it's windy or not, and see where I place within those particular within the particular tournament. How well can a 1 handicap hold up against the tour pros using a simulator, mind you, and show up on the leaderboard. Thanks again. Tune in. Please subscribe and give me feedback. I don't know what to do. I don't know what people want to listen to. This might even be garbage, and if it's only my boys that like to watch my videos, that's cool too. I don't really care. But it would be awesome to have people give me feedback so I can improve on what I'm doing. Appreciate it. Talk to you again soon.